Hello everyone, welcome along. Hopefully you can hear me. Hopefully I can be heard. Let me know in the chat if that is a fact or not. I'm nervous. It's been a bit of a time the last few days, let me tell you. What the hell happened? So I used to make thumbnails for a guy in Philadelphia for his YouTube channel. It was a little side hustle I had. It was great fun. Jupiter, thank you so much for confirming that you can hear me. That's amazing. I used to make thumbnails for this guy's drone YouTube channel in America, in Philadelphia. That was amazing. As part of that, he paid me money to make things, which I love. I love getting paid money to make things. Also, as part of that, he gave me access to his Adobe subscription. Amazing, right? So I was able to use, what the hell is it called? What the hell's the Adobe Filmmaker called? Not Final Cut, that's Apple. Come on now, Mike. What's it called? It's called Adobe Premiere Pro. Oh, why is this not working now? There we go. I was able to use his subscription to Adobe software to use his copy of Premiere Pro so I can make videos. Wonderful. Man, I didn't have to pay for it because I can't afford that. Hot dang, it's expensive. It's like justifiable if you have a YouTube channel that actually makes money. Like, that's cool. But I can't afford that kind of software. So finally, he was like, look, bro, I need to use my other account to sign it into my laptop. I was like, you know what? Sweet as. That's all good. I understand. Thank you so much for letting me use it for so long. So I was like, right, well, now's the time. I need to switch to DaVinci, which is a free one. Workflow's different, but it's a free one. And I'd done a little bit of work on learning it. I was like, that's fine. I'll go get it. I went to get it, and it went, womp womp, you need to upgrade your OS. You're behind a version. So I was like, oh, snap. Okay, cool. There's a new OS, is there? Oh, amazing. I can have that stupid glass OS on my desktop as well as on my phone and iPad. That's another story. That's another wine. Anyway, I upgraded my operating system and all hell broke loose. Could not start my desktop. Could not start my computer. I'm running a Mac Mini, by the way. Stacked Mac Mini. A very, very good one. It cost a lot of money. But it just wouldn't start. It would not start. I could not get it to fire up. I spent a lot of time over the last week since I last streamed just getting that working, just getting my computer to turn on. So that was a little bit frightening, and I wasn't a huge fan of that. But I got there. I didn't do any editing because I ran out of time to do that. I spent all the time that I would have spent editing just getting my computer to turn on. And then this morning I go and turn on OBS. I'm already late for this stream because I was finishing my shipping and getting my house ready. My cleaner comes on a Thursday, the wonderful Aruni, who cleans our house for us. I was getting the house ready for her after having the kids to school and everything like that. Got my shipping done, turned on OBS, and it was just like, cameras? What cameras? What are you talking about? And then Stream Deck was like, audio file? What audio file? What are you talking about? So I had to just go and find all this junk again before I could press start. And now it's 9:47. And here we are. Hello, everyone. Welcome along. Lovely to have you here. I'm not sure who's all here just now. I'm not sure who's around. But what's up, Cubify? James LM. Lovely to have you here. Projta. Crafty Creator, Different Gravy. That's a great username. Right, what are we doing today? Well, first of all, I want to thank my sponsors. Thank you so much to Speedcube Shop. Use code Cubecast to save 5% over there. Thank you so much to the wonderful people at G Fuel as well. Head to gfuel.com and use code Mike32314 to save 20% on any of their amazing drinks. I don't have one on me just now. That's how quickly I was running in here. Running around. Getting myself sorted. 2.76 WR is literally crazy. Chatter as well. I don't know what to add to that conversation. So normally when a world record happens, okay, it happens um in China. And I have a little bit of advantage being here in New Zealand in that I can get a video out announcing that the record has happened and I can juice a couple of views off that. But this happened in Europe when I was fast asleep. So all the American creators got to get the videos out and they did, like the video's already out. The reconstruction's already out. I am going to look at, I'm going to look at Dylan Miller and Manu's reaction to that because that was kind of cute because they were sitting. I mean, it was crazy, right? It was an amazing story. The way we're sitting waiting for, we're waiting for a sub 3 or we're waiting for a new world record from the Chinese head to head. And then boom, Teddy's got it. Lil Teddy. Where was it? It was in Europe. I'm not sure where exactly. But 2.67 is actually crazy. I'm not sure if I've fully come to terms with what that is or what that means. I saw Dylan had a video about it, which I recommend you go and watch. I think that came out a couple of hours ago. I just noticed it this morning. Or was that? Am I talking smack? Was that last night? Different gravy. I wonder what would happen if that scramble happened at a Chinese head-to-head. Well, I'd be interested to see what, Zhuan Yi or YiHeng would have got if they'd have had that. You know what I mean? I did see that Dylan and Luke got it down to 216. They haven't got it sub 2. Mango, no, not early. I was aiming to start. I mean, it's earlier than last week because last week was extra late because I scheduled it to be late. This week I tried to start on time, but things played with me. Hello, Curious Nick. Welcome along. Jupiter, you were at the comp with the 276. That's really exciting. Zuka, you were in the live stream. Yeah, I really enjoyed Dylan and Manu restreaming the competition from China. It was really fun. I had to go to bed. I felt like such an old man because they were like charging through till like 3 or 4 in the morning or whatever like that. And here in New Zealand, it was the next day. No, it was the same day at that point because it was past midnight. Time zones are hard. Here in New Zealand, it was getting to like 9:30, 10 o'clock. And I was like, I need to go to bed. Well, these kids are doing like an all-nighter. I'm like, oh, mate, it's nearly 10. In my defense, I've started rugby training again, okay? So I'm doing a lot of physical stuff at the moment. I'm tired all the time right now, which is really fun. I'm enjoying it immensely. So what we're going to talk about today, anyway, everyone, what we're going to talk about today is probably just like 2 things, honestly. I'm going to spend a lot of time talking about this little PSL WCA situation because I do not like it and I have thoughts about it. Everything I'm going to say is going to be my own opinion. Just because your opinions differ from mine doesn't mean I hate you or I think you're an idiot. But I'm going to talk about that quite a lot and have some opinions. There is a chance we might get what's his chops? John Epley. We might get John on the call, depending on time zones and things like that, because I would love to hear from John. But here's my plan for today. Here's how we're going to tackle this, okay? Oh, I need to open my little notes app. We're going to have a look at the Millisecond, where this was first sort of spoken about. Okay. Then we're going to have a look at the Clicky Studios video about it. Nick, yeah, we're definitely going to look at that. I think Carter's making some leaps of logic, which I'll talk about. I perceive them as leaps of logic. I am then potentially, maybe, hopefully speak to John if he's available. And then that's going to lead us into the Speedcubing TV rebroadcast as well. That's the first thing. That's the main topic for today. The next thing I want to talk about, which is a little bit dicey because there's only one source and it relies on a translation and I don't know who translated it. And it refers to things that Gan has done that I cannot find any evidence of. So it's just a little bit shady. I feel weird about that one. But that's YiHeng's mum is kicking off, accusing Gan of being kind of shady to YiHeng, which we don't like, because he's only a wee man. And let's not do that to kids, hey? Let's not do that to kids, shall we? I've got here head-to-head recap as well, but I don't even know what happened. I didn't watch the end of it. I couldn't even tell you who won. Tell me in the chat who won. Who won the Chinese head-to-head? Was it YiHeng? Or was it Zhuan Yi? I'd love it to be Zhuan Yi, I think. You can spoil that for me in the chat. Go ahead right now. Who won? I can wait. But yeah, we're gonna start with the millisecond, and I want to skip to about 44 minutes, don't I? Now, fingers crossed. Zhuan Yi got it? Yeah, let's go, my boy. I'm assuming YiHeng was second, eh? So, we want to be about here on the thing. I want to press this button over here. Hopefully you can still, it looks like you can still hear me. And let's go, shall we? All right, I'm going to hit play, and hopefully you're going to be able to hear it, all right?
I've been a coach for some of the
What's
longest
up,
time in
AA
North
Cubing?
America, 3x3 Worlds finalists, and I can help anybody regardless of the speed. Again, go to solveitdylan.com, and we'll help you out.
OBS says that you can hear the screen, all right? OBS says you can hear the screen, so I'm going to assume that you can hear the screen. All right.
If you remember on the pod from a few weeks ago, I had said that I was going to PSL Michigan.
So, background. PSL Michigan, there was going to be a collaboration between PSL Michigan and the WCA. Thank you,
really excited for the competition. That is still happening. However, if you remember, there was a WCA comp supposed to be tied to this, and that was going to be Michigan Open 2026. I received an email from the organizers that the competition was no longer going to be WCA recognized, and then I followed up with the organizer asking kind of if they could give me any more clarification.
So the organizer, as I understand, is John Epley. I'm just going to ping him a message. Discord says he's online. Hey man, streaming now. Jump on the live chat if you can, and if you're down for a call, let me know. That was exciting, wasn't it, everyone? That was exciting watching me do that.
For context, I guess the competition here was submitted. You have to submit the competition. The organizers and delegates submit it to WCA, and then the WCA announcement team confirms if it meets kind of the standards or not. They had put that there was going to be a special event happening, which was the PSL competition happening after this, totally normal WCA competition, and it was allowed by.
Just spilt coffee all over myself live on stream. Pretty cool, hey?
And then this email kind of details why this competition was canceled.
Just Dylan, read this.
It was found that it didn't really meet the rules and regulations.
Remember that. Didn't meet rules and regulations.
By WCAT. And then there was kind of some back and forth. And then eventually, the organizers were given some options to make amends and maybe allow both of these things to continue happening. They didn't really find any common ground on how to deal with this. And then because the PSL was found to be a sponsor of the competition, the board thought the competition was deemed to not be allowed because it didn't meet WCA standards, essentially. It was found to be
sponsor a weird one as well.
In the best interest of the WCA because the PSL is a competing organization. And
I find that really disappointing. And I'm going to talk about that in depth, I think. The whole idea of competition between the PSL and WCA. I might actually pose my little question to you now. I'll pose my little head scratcher to you now, okay? Because it's going to set the scene, I think, for a lot of what my feelings are on this. So my question is this. If the PSL and the WCA are in competition, what's the win condition of that competition? What are they in competition over? What are they fighting for? What are they in competition about? My, I suppose, overall stance is I believe that the WCA and PSL being in competition is a choice. And it's a choice that certain people are making. I don't see them as competition. I see them as a net positive for speedcubing. All right? Projta sponsors, potentially. But then again, there would be a choice there. And that would be the exclusivity of those sponsorships, right? Either organization locks down sponsors as exclusive. That is an issue, but that hasn't happened. Top competitors, I don't know. I don't think so. It's two different competitions for two different things. I'll lean on the yeah, you don't have to choose one or the other. You literally don't. So this is potentially my own hot take, but I don't, for the benefit of cubing, these should not be considered entities that are in competition with each other. That's my take. Okay. That's where I'm going to be coming from on this, pretty much. I'm going to go back and read that email because Dylan did not. So what it says is, this is an email from John Epley, the organizer. And it says, "Hey, Dylan," because he's writing to Dylan Miller. The original plan for Michigan Open was to hold a PSL competition afterwards. The idea adhered to all rules, regulations, and requirements and was subsequently approved by the WCA competition announcement team. A couple of weeks later, we received an email from WCAT explaining that the tab containing the details for the PSL competition was removed for violating competition requirements involving sponsorships. Section 9. We've got that section. We'll be looking at it. We replied confused since we had not considered PSL a sponsor of the competition, since it was a free event happening after Michigan Open. Regardless, their application of the requirement, removing the tab completely, didn't align with what was written in the competition requirements. We were told the decision had actually come from the WCA board of directors, so it was highly unlikely to be reversed. After several weeks of emails back and forth offering concessions and compromises, the board finally admitted that their underlying issue was with the PSL organization itself, that any association with the organization was against the best interests of the WCA, and cited that they believed that PSL was a competing league seeking to undermine the WCA as the worldwide governing body for speedcubing. I would like to know upon what that is based. They stated that they would prefer to have Michigan Open cancelled rather than have a WCA competition and a PSL competition happen in the same venue on the same day under any circumstances. We requested substantiation for their claims about PSL, seeking to undermine the WCA, but for the time being have been denied any evidence and instead have been asked to trust their word. So, let's go over that again. We requested substantiation for their claims about PSL seeking to undermine the WCA, but for the time being they have been denied any. But for the time being have been denied any evidence and instead have been asked to trust their word. That's all the information we have. We're deeply saddened by this result and are just as confused as everyone else. However, the organizers are going to continue to hold a competition and PSL will fill the WCA portion of the schedule. The results will not be recognized as official by the WCA, but we will still be doing our best to put on a fun and exciting event for everyone that's planning to attend. So that's where we got to that's where we got to with that. I'm just catching up with chat. Yeah, so I can see people comparing it to a chess issue. I kind of compare it to rugby, okay? And I'll try and explain this in very basic levels. But you've got rugby union and you've got rugby league, okay? There are two different games with different rules. Essentially, it's the same thing, though. Make ball go that way, score a point. Ball go that way, other team scores a point. It's the same thing. Big men smash into each other. The slightly different rules as to how we do the smashing and how it works, okay? Rugby union, sure, that's fine. It works. It's a great game. It's fun to watch. But people started to think this could be better to watch for spectators. It's great to play. If you understand it, it's awesome. But imagine this, but it was a version that was way more watchable, way more easy to understand. And that's where rugby league came out, okay? So rugby league is the one you've got 5 tackles, then it's got to switch, then 5 tackles the other way, then it's got to switch. You got to do something. So there's a lot less contested scrums and all that kind of stuff. You can really, really see easily what's going on. I use this analogy because for me, it's so similar to what's happening with WCA and PSL. And they essentially now, we have 2 games. We have Union and League. And I'm, for cubing and for rugby, I'm not a competitive cuber or rugby player. I love playing, both are fun. I love both. I love watching them both. I can watch, my mate can hit me up and be like, are you watching the footy this weekend? And I'll be like, what's on? Is there league? So there's a big league game on? Sick. Yeah, well, let's watch the league. There's a big union game. The Six Nations is on just now. Like, sick. Let's watch the union. These are 2 awesome big things that I can enjoy as a spectator that were born out of the same thing, right? And I feel like this is what we're talking about with cubing as well. Me as a spectator, as someone who enjoys the sport, I don't care. I'll watch a WCA comp. I watched the head. It's great that WCA have got head-to-head now, by the way. I watched a bit of the head-to-head at the weekend. I was like, great, there's some cubing on. You know what I mean? We talked about this a couple of years ago. Imagine being able to just be like, is there cubing on this weekend? Sick, I'll watch it. It's happening. It's here. It's happening. We're doing it. We're doing the thing. That's great. So I watched the WCA this weekend. There's PSL on. I'll watch the PSL. I don't care. I don't care. Slightly different format. I don't care. Do not care. Lots of people do care a lot and will fill out the forums about how much they care and stuff. So I suppose, yeah, FIDE, that's the chess people, right? And they don't like Magnus, right? They don't like Magnus Carlsen. I have a very basic understanding of chess. I do like to see Magnus wrecking people. I like to see anyone wrecking anyone at chess. Like, I don't really care. I don't care if it's an FIDE competition or anything. And that's the thing. That's the thing, right? I was also thinking this about, I was developing this thought in my head over the weekend as well, and I was thinking about the Winter Olympics. And I was thinking about Projda. The only issue with League versus Union is that competitors generally pick one. Yes and no. They go back and forward. Like, generally, if you're a professional player, then you can only do one, and you're signed up to you have a contract. You're paid to do one, Projda. That would be the difference. You're paid to do one. You're not paid to do one of the cubing leagues. Like, that's not a thing. So I do hear what you're saying. Oh, hold on. The chess issue is solely by the organizing body. They started saying if someone plays in the other format, they are banned. That's rough. That's disgusting. That's actually disgusting, because that's anti-competition, it's anti-competitive, it's anti-community, and it's anti-player. It's gross. I hear you on that. That's foul. I'm gonna get there. So anyway, I started thinking about the Winter Olympics. All right, skiing versus snowboarding. Okay, so I'm a snowboarder. I couldn't care less if you ski or snowboard or whatever. Okay. But really, what are we doing? It's the same thing, right? We're trying to solve the cube as fast as we can. Rugby players are trying to get the ball to the end of the pitch as fast as they can, or the most times as they can, I suppose. Chess, you're trying to win. Skiing and snowboarding, we're trying to get down the hill, and we're trying to make it look as cool as possible. Really, it's the same goal, isn't it? How you do it is different. And I'm prefacing this a lot, and I am going to give a little disclaimer here. I'm going to sound really old to everyone under 25, 30. Anyone who's my age is going to get this, I hope, a little bit more. But we live in a world now, okay? Boomer takes coming, right? Boomer takes coming. We are losing as a society, as a species, the ability to speak and think with nuance. And everything is black and white, us versus them, good or bad. I genuinely think, I don't think people are changing. I think the way we share information has changed, and that is changing how people develop information. It's, like, thank you, Nick. I'm not a doctor. I don't know anything. I'm not good at anything, really. Why is anyone listening to me? But there's a thing in your brain. It's called a prefrontal cortex. It develops fully, on average, when you're about 25. Part of your prefrontal cortex development is the ability to understand that two things can be true at once. And also that things are not just black and white. Why am I talking about this? Am I having a senile moment here? Listen, a lot of people involved in the conversation right now are quite young, and they're us versus theming. The people who I like in this conversation are the people who are able to go, these are both cool. I consider myself probably one of them, because I don't want the WCA to go anywhere. I like the WCA. It's really good. I like the PSL. I think it's really good. Right? I'm going to go back to my previous statements. I love watching rugby union. I play rugby union. Love to watch it. It still confuses the shit out of me. I don't know what's going on in that ruck. What's happening there? I love watching the league because it's so smashy. Bro, have you watched women's rugby league? It's incredible. It's such a good game to watch. It's so good. I love snowboarding because I was a skateboarder. I love going sideways, okay? I love snowboarding. I love watching snowboard. I love watching the snowboard. Oh my God, my brain. What the hell is it called? Slope style. I love watching snowboard slope style because I can't do it. Okay, listen, I'm not hitting the slope style hits, but I understand what's going on and I appreciate it. I can also watch the skiing slope style and be like, God damn, that was sick. What just happened? That was amazing. I love that. That's amazing. I'm bringing this up because I worry a little bit about the conversations we're having and about how we're having those conversations. I think mostly I worry about how we're having these conversations. It's us versus them. It's binary thinking. I don't want to say juvenile. I don't want to say juvenile. I don't think that's what I mean. It's immature. I don't know if any of those made me sound better. It's immature. Grow up, everyone. But it is. It's how I feel. It's immature. And I don't think we are winning anything. And unfortunately, I think the WCA is benefiting from that situation as well. I think we'll get into this in more detail, but this kind of is going to bleed into my thoughts around the fact that, excuse me, I got to take my jersey off. I'm sweating here. Around the fact that you can go, right, here's the thing. There are certain people, bald alert. Sorry for the flashbang of the dome there. There are people who are worried about talking publicly about this situation because they're worried that they might get banned from the WCA. Right? So there are people on the PSL side, as it were, or there are people who are into the idea of the PSL, not necessarily anti-WCA, but there are people who are into the idea of the PSL. Shout out to all my bald fam. There are people who are into PSL who are afraid to talk, but there are people on the other side. I don't like sides. I don't want this. There are people on the other side who are turbo WCA coded. I'm sorry, Ishtal. I'll keep my shirt on. There are people on the WCA side who are feeling really, really emboldened to just hammer into the PSL, talk all sorts of shit about the PSL. That is a issue because that is a huge imbalance. It's unfair, in my opinion, that this is how the conversation is shaping out. Vera, I joined when Mike had no hat or beanie. You are the chosen one, Vera. Confirmed. Do you see what I mean by that, everyone? I'm having a big boomer yap about this today, but I wanted to give you all... I've been thinking a lot about this. While my computer's been refusing to start, and while I haven't been able to edit anything, I have been thinking about this a lot. And you know what? I'm just disappointed. I'm disappointed in the conversation, and we're gonna get to it. We're gonna carry on. We're gonna look back at the millisecond again. We're gonna get back into it. All right. So we read the email. There it is. That's what John said. John can't jump on the call today, but he is in the chat. So if I speculate, I speculate about what John would say in this situation, then he can jump in. If you're on neither side, you're cuber fluid. No, if you're on neither side, you're based. And I approve.
The
Don't pick
WCA
sides.
because the PSL is a competing organization.
Stop. Nailed it. The current environment that I just described does not help cubing grow. It's anti-growth, it's anti-community, it's anti-cubing. That is what I'm talking about.
For that, the competition was canceled. It's still going to be happening. If you're in the Michigan area and you were registered for this, you should be refunded, thankfully, by the organizers. And you will still have a chance to have rounds. They will just not be WCA recognized.
Yeah. I mean,
so,
yes, you're bang on. That's all.
So, yeah. Actually, this is something I need a clarification on. I saw Dylan was in the chat. And John is in the chat. Whoever else was involved with this. Was the idea that this PSL competition in Michigan, were the results going to be recognized by the WCA? That's something I would like to be clarified, and I'm a little bit unclear on. Were the results of this competition going to be recognized by the WCA? Thank you.
All the information is correct. This competition was announced quite a while ago, a good few months ago, a couple of months ago now. So the announcement team, or WCAT as they're kind of known as.
WCAT, thank you, Chris.
Will be submitted competitions, the delegates and organizers will submit the competitions to them, and then they know all of the competition requirements. They check through the website, make sure everything ticks all the boxes for the WCA, and then they announce it. They know what's going on. They know what happens with the WCA. They know what's allowed, what's not allowed. They announce it. They confirmed this. With PSL being on a competition tab on the WCA website, with special event in the schedule, because it was going to be WCA finishes and then PSL starts. So anybody who goes to compete, they can stick around and watch PSL, or if they're a top level competitor like yourself, they can get some WCA rounds and then go into some PSL head-to-head bracket. So this...
Okay, cool. So they could, so people could do both. That's really cool. That's really cool.
It was everything seemed fine.
Dare I say, it almost sounds like a really good collaboration. Right? They're collaborating. The audience is able to do both. To go back on the points from earlier where people were pointing out you have to choose. No, not in this situation. Not in Michigan. There was no choice to be made. You did one or the other or both. And they were splitting costs on the venue, as we'll come to find out. Way in the favor of WCA. Great result. PSL always broadcast. There would have been a broadcast there. Outstanding. More eyeballs on cubing. Great result. So where's the problem? What's the issue? And it was also approved by WCAT. It's almost as though, because I haven't seen the regulation yet, it's almost as though there wasn't a reason on paper for not letting this happen. It's almost as though this was personal. Could it be? Could it be?
It's all
Ishtob is Chang. Yes, reminder. Thank you.
approved. Everything got through. And then it was only after that when the WCA started seeming like, actually, no, we don't like this. And then trying to get it removed from the WCA website. I think that was the first thing that happened is PSL were just told, hey, you just can't have this on the WCA website.
That's shady, first of all. Just been like, oh, yeah, nah, let's just yoink this bit away.
Which kind of makes sense. You don't really want to be advertising your competitor on your website.
It's not... PSL's not freaking Voldemort. This is so stupid. It's not, the PSL is not he who should not be named. What are we doing here? What are we doing this for? Who are we doing this for? There's another angle to this as well that I wonder. This is pure just off the top of my dome speculation, but like one of these is a not-for-profit and one of these is a business. I think WCA is potentially WCA is annoyed that they can't make money because of their setup. I don't know. Chang, I can see WCA as a non-profit can't shill for PSL as a for-profit organization. I know you're being a little bit sarcastic, but I have seen people in all seriousness using the language of shilling, like shilling for the PSL. And I think that's crazy. Yeah, Crafty Creator. We will be looking at Carter's video as well. Chang, you can make money as a not-profit. Yes, of course. Of course. You can't sell it for profit. I understand that. But not everyone does. A lot of people don't understand what a not-for-profit actually means. And I think sometimes the WCA get confused by it as well. I don't... this is purely off the top of my head. But... Zakato Cuber, expand on that. Yeah, but WCA's goal shouldn't be aiming for being profitable. It absolutely should. If they want to stay in business, if they want to exist. Just sit with that thought, Zakato. Just sit with that thought. I'm not saying you're wrong necessarily. Well, actually, that's not true. I am. But no, just develop that thought a little bit longer and just keep thinking. Proshta, I think you're probably on the money. Auditors may see supporting PSL as potentially a way to funnel money out. Yeah, if you cook your accounts, but if the books are good, and I trust that they are. Thank you, Chang. Yes, a non-profit needs to make money or they go bankrupt. Ask me how I know, because I ran one. Anyway, I'll let Chris keep yapping. What now, Chris?
But
what?
Then after that, they were like, actually, no, you can't do it on the same day. And PSL, the venue wasn't available the next day, so they couldn't do that. So they're like, no, we want to keep this on the same day. And they were given the ultimatum of like, basically, you need to cancel the PSL. And PSL organizers like, no, we're not going to cancel PSL. So the alternative was canceling WCA. So it wasn't the organizers that made the decision. The WCA board of directors made this decision. So we thought this was a little bit controversial.
Chris is in a difficult position because he's on one of the WCA teams. Vera, disappointed guy yaps, but it's kind of entertaining. Is that the AI overview?
It kind of seems like WCA.
Did I finish my sentence? Yeah, Chris is in a difficult position because he sees both as good, in my opinion. It seems that way, but he also is WCA staff, so his position's in jeopardy, depending on how he talks. You see what I mean about that imbalance, about how this is not a cool situation? Because you can talk about one, but you can't talk about the other if you're worried about getting banned from one. I'm in a very privileged position because if I got banned from the WCA today, it literally wouldn't affect my life. I go to like one competition a year and I do really bad. So I am in a very, very privileged position. But a lot of people aren't. And I think that's unfair. Just as this whole conversation and dynamic develops.
Trying to monopolize speedcubing.
There it is. Monopolize is a very important word in this conversation. We'll come back to it.
Trying to remain the main organization for cubing. They're volunteers and like they want to keep WCA at the top. Like that's part of their volunteer role. But they just cancelled a WCA competition that, I don't know, 60, 70 something people had registered for.
Very, very, very valid point. Turbo-based point from Chris Mills here, right? Who pays? Who pays for this cancellation? Who pays for this cancellation? 60 paying WCA members. That's who pays in this situation. So if this is personal, you WCA members are paying for it, right? These people who had planned to go to this competition, I'm sure they'll get their refunds or whatever. They're not going to get refunds on their travel or ACOM, all that kind of stuff. What the hell? Popey Jopey, wouldn't banning people make things worse though? Yeah, you'd create martyrs. Seems like a form of censorship which many people wouldn't take lightly. I don't know, man. The WCA pilled people are so pilled. I don't know what would happen. I can't predict that. You're all good, Zucato. Don't even worry. Keep saying the things. I get things wrong. 3 or 4 times a minute generally is my rate. That's how often I get things wrong. So, yes. Anyway, we're carrying on. What was he saying? Yeah, the people paid. It's the members who have paid for this, right? Because they just pulled for so far. We do not actually have, I'm not convinced I've seen a good reason yet as to why they pulled that competition. And they screwed their members.
Just because of this other competition that was competing, but it's one event. It was already announced. People had registered, people had booked flights, paid for accommodation, and although the organizers refunded all of the registration fees,
there it is. Yeah,
they can't refund flights, they can't refund hotels.
Based.
And this was cancelled pretty close to the date. I think within a month of the competition, or very close to.
That's tough, man.
And like this competition, as I said, was announced a couple months ago. So we don't like this kind of, it seems a little bit overreachy from the board.
So that I can't really speak to that much because I'm not an expert on the inner workings of the WCA. I'm going to take Chris at his word on that. But I can't really speak to that. Zuccato Cuba, can we stop saying WCA PSL people? We're all just randoms who solve a toy pretty fast. That is basically the point that I'm making. That is the point that I'm making. I'm just talking about the people who are the vocal minorities. Or I should say, it's a silent minority at the moment. Well, I don't even know if it exists, if there's like a PSL or die people. Like, because I don't really think there are. I have not met anyone who's like PSL for life, let's close the WCA. That person I don't think exists. Or certainly I've never met them. Right? Like, am I right? Who do we know who is PSL for life, can the WCA? I don't know if there's anyone who is that. I see a lot of people who are from the very inception of the PSL have been like, this is garbage, throw it in the bin, I hope it dies immediately. That's kind of what I'm talking about there. It's mostly that. I think majority of us, Zukato, like you and I, are just like, these are both cool. I like these both. Let's do them both. I like this. More cubing to watch for me. Okay, sweet. Let's do it.
Be just cancelling competitions like this. Competitions are very rarely cancelled in WCA. Yeah. Like, the reasons I can think of cancellations are venue is severely damaged by some weather event, a global pandemic.
Interesting point by Chris. Like, very interesting point by Chris. Things is this on a level with a pandemic? Is this on a level with a building falling down?
That usually cancel competitions. Like, the venue is not functional or the world is not functional.
Yeah.
Like, that's what cancels competitions. And usually if a venue is not functioning, they find a new one. Like, that often happens. Like, you'll be going to a competition and they'll be like, we've had some issues with the venue. We switched it. It's in this hall in the same town now. So to have a competition cancelled by the decision of the board for a kind of political reason, like, it's not real politics, but WCA politics reason, is a little bit weird.
And unfortunately, that's as far as I can see, that's the only logical conclusion that I can come to. There is no rule. Well, I mean, we're going to look at it. We're going to look at the document. I asked Chris where this regulation exists because I couldn't find it anywhere, and he sent me a document. I haven't actually looked at it yet, but I shall. So the only conclusion, and then as Chris says, competitions are generally only cancelled when, like, they physically can't happen. So this is unusual. The only conclusion I can come to is that some sort of shenanigans that I can't explain or is not being transparent, right? Unlike the accounts in the bookkeeping, Chang, this is not transparent. It's very opaque.
So we made the decision to, we wanted to talk about this on the pod. We think this is an important thing to talk about.
I'm glad they did.
We've talked about this competition before, so people might find out and want to know what happened. So we decided to reach out to the WCA, reach out to the board and the communications team, and essentially ask them for a comment. We told them we were.
So this is really great work by Chris and Dylan as well. So I mean, Chris has just kind of spoken to what I was speaking about earlier. Like they Chris and Dylan, right, who are heavily invested in the WCA, they really had to dig deep to talk about this, and I applaud them for doing so. Right, kudos, mega vibes. Okay, this is awesome. I'm really glad that that they did do this, because I believe this is the original source of this conversation. I don't think this conversation was happening anywhere until Chris and Dylan talked about it on the Millisecond. All right. So they then reached out to the board to say, "Hey, what's going on? What's going on, team? What's going on?" And then Kerry wrote back. I'm not sure if Chris is going to read it. Let's give him the chance.
Planning. We wanted to talk about this, and we'd love to just get their perspective so we can share their side of the story. And this is the response we got from Kerry Jarman. She is the chair of the WCA, so essentially the head of the board, which is basically, like, it says did not meet WCA requirements. Doesn't say what those requirements are. Which one? Discussed various possibilities with the delegates in an attempt to bring the competition in line with WCA requirements. From what we know is the possibilities were move PSL to a different day or cancel PSL.
Where in the regs?
Doesn't also detail those possibilities there. And then ultimately we did not find a mutually agreeable path. As a result, WCA recognition of this competition was revoked.
So am I right in thinking they were going to recognize the results as WCA official results? Is that I still need clarification on that. Mango, can you speak to that? Is John in the chat? I'm not sure if he is. I'm just gonna text John right now, actually. Hey, was the original plan to have the Michigan PSL results recognized by the WCA? Sorry if I'm being a goober and I'm missing that. Yo, role play and grow. I'm hosting PSL and WCA in Southern Oregon on March 14th. Hearing the reasons for why they cancelled concerns me. It would be very frustrating to have one group cancel last minute because of ego. John has just confirmed, yes, the PSL results were going to be recognized by the WCA. Okay, interesting. John is typing. Hold fire, everyone. Now, Chang, you're bringing up a really interesting point there. I doubt they will ever recognize PSL results. Brother, they can't even recognize the results of their own head-to-heads yet. Which leads me to believe... Hold on a minute now. I need something. I need something. Hold on. No. Shut up, Chris. Go. Okay. Is that conspiratorial enough? I think it might be. Hold on. Chang. The WCA... If I'm wrong about this, by the way, I'll look really stupid. But as far as I'm concerned, sorry, to the best of my knowledge, neither the Australian head-to-head results or the Chinese head-to-head results have been entered on the WCA website yet, right? I don't think they've been I should probably check. World Cube Association. Hold on a minute. Before we go full tinfoil hat, I just need to confirm something here. I'd also like to make a public apology to the WCA. Those of you who've been watching this show for a long time will know that I've been railing against the website, being like, what the hell, man? Why does it never ever remember me? It never saves my password. It never remembers me. I always click remember me and it doesn't remember me. What's going on? And I was having an absolute mega tanty. Okay, I would like to offer my full and sincere apologies to the WCA software team, because I didn't know that Google Chrome, on occasion, will just list a website as suspect. Or maybe there's something that a user does that marks it as suspect. Because there was two websites, right? One of my DHL websites, one of my billing websites for work, or for the cubes, and WCA. For some reason, they were in my blocked list where it couldn't remember the passwords. It wouldn't do it. It wouldn't just automatically, ping up the passwords for them. So I was raging out at the WCA software team because I am a fat-handed user. So I would like to offer my sincere and heartfelt apologies to the WCA for ever suggesting that was their issue. Complete fat-handed user error on my part. Anyway, that said, let's get the music back on. Okay, right. What was the name of that competition? I can start the tune from the start. Chang. What did Chang say? I forgot. Chang said... What did Chang say? Wait. I doubt they will ever recognize PSL results. And I said, very cleverly, Chang, they can't even recognize their own head-to-head results yet. And then we were checking it, weren't they? Let's go and check it. Come on, everyone. Let's go and check. Melbourne Summer, was that what it was called? Talk about fat-handed user error. Melbourne? Oh, boy. This guy stinks. Melbourne Summer. It was Melbourne Summer 2026. That's where the head-to-head was, eh? Hold on. Where are we going? Events? No. Nope. Where do I find the results? Head-to-head finals. Nothing there. Live results? Nope. Go WCA Live. It's not... The music's not as effective. when I'm just scrabbling around trying to base my theory on something. But I can't find the results. I don't know where they are. Competitors? Oh, here we go. I don't think they've got the results up yet, eh? Okay, level. Thank you. Alright, WCA Live doesn't have the final results. They haven't posted it. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Okay, so PSL creates head-to-head. WCA, in a very un-WCA move, scrambles to get their head-to-head 3x3 event ready. They launch it before they can even put the results on their website. Are the WCA panicking? Are they panicking to keep up with the PSL? Are they already running scared? Was the WCA's 3x3 head-to-head result? What? No. Was the WCA's 3x3 head-to-head regulation change rushed because they're scared of the PSL? Almost certainly not. Like, I don't think so. But because as far as I'm concerned, the timeline was, so Michael Chai was on his way out of the board, I think because, this would be speculation probably, but I'm pretty sure that he was unhappy with the board's resistance to format change. He said, in his little head, I'm imagining, he said, you know what, I'll go and do it. I reckon I can do this. And he went ahead and did the PSL. I know that they... Well, no, in fact, it wasn't even Michael Chow. Lest we forget, Mango pointed this out earlier. It's Tyson Mao. The PSL's Tyson Mao's. It's not Michael Chai. Michael Chai is operating as a chief exec. He's operating as the manager as such. But Tyson Mao is the PSL man. So they went off and did that. And my understanding is that they tried very, very hard to have it sanctioned by the WCA. Their preference was to have their results from the PSL recognized by the WCA. But from the very start, the WCA said, nah, we ain't doing that. Okay? That is my understanding. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong, and people will correct me. So take it that as you will. There's a bit of speculation in there because I'm not quoting anyone right now. These are just conversations that I've had. Level Up, yeah, he's the PSL man. Yeah, I think that's important. God, if I've got his name wrong. Hold on a minute. I'm just going to confirm. Okay, Projta, Chai told me the same thing. And am I right? It's Tyson Mao, right? If I'm saying someone else's name who's not involved at all, then I am in trouble. Okay, so Projta, Chai told you the same thing. So that's I guess this is Chai's understanding of the timeline of events. Unfortunately, we don't have a timeline. We don't have a version of that story from the WCA because they ain't telling it. So PSL went off, tried to get the WCA to play ball with them. WCA for whatever reason wouldn't, and I'm like, okay, sure, whatever. Like, I think one of the reasons that they said they wouldn't play ball, I'm sure one of the reasons cited was the database. Like, the database carries a lot of weight for WCA excuses, I feel like. I'm going to see if I can confirm this with John as well. I'm nervous about the Tyson Mao thing now. I feel like... Have I cooked this? Hey, correct me if I'm wrong. Tyson Mao is the instigator of PSL, right? I'm actually going to text, I know Chai is busy, but I'm going to text Chai as well. LMNOP. My memory is bad, and I'm worried. I'm talking nonsense. I'm sure that was right. Jack Madigan's just texted me as well. As far as I know, WCA was planning to have head-to-head match before PSL became a thing. Yeah, I think that could be possibly true as well. That was going to be... It was being talked about. Yeah, no, well, I think that's what I said, Jack. I think that's kind of what I said. Right? They were talking about it, and either the WCA wasn't moving fast enough towards it, or the direction they were taking towards it wasn't what other people had in their vision. I think it's probably just a vision, a difference of opinion on vision for how it was going to work. And also probably potentially, I would imagine, given that one of the big differences is that one's a not-for-profit, one's a business. One of the differences might have been, well, like, how are we going to fund this? And then there could have been different answers from different people about how they're going to fund this. Again, speculating. But yeah, I suppose I'm talking about the narrative of PSL, people assuming that the PSL's trying to destroy the WCA. That is just, from everything that I've read and everything that I've been told and everything that I've heard, that is just not true. But people run with it like it's true. People run with it like it's fact. And that just kind of concerns me a little bit, you know? Do you know what I'm saying? Anyway, where were we? Because Dylan has got some absolutely turbo-based takes that he's going to come to in a millisecond. So we'll get there in a second.
It's a very nothing answer.
It is a nothing answer. Thank you, Chris. Yeah, that's where we were. We were on Kerry's response, which was just like, oh, it doesn't meet regulations. What regulations? Don't worry about it. Bye.
It doesn't say what the other possibilities were. I don't know. Like, what are your thoughts on this response, Dylan?
Come on, Dylan, spit.
Yeah, for me, the response in of itself is very intentionally vague. It's almost as if they probably could have said no comment. We have no comment.
Yeah.
And like that's fine. Here it feels like they're trying to mask maybe some information, which the organizers did give us information if you saw the email we had pulled up earlier. And so it doesn't really leave a great taste in my mouth, honestly. I would have liked maybe a little bit more explanation because this isn't the first time that a WCA competition has had something kind of separate happening at the same time. Even the Guangdong Open comp that we were talking about, right? There is some type of
get ready, buckle in
promotional thing. Arguably, could be linked to the Gan SSL competitions that have happened in the past, and that competition was allowed to happen. We talked about it previously, but it's because that competition is deemed a sponsor of that competition, and Gan is not just the Smart Cubing League; it is like actually a sponsor of plenty of other competitions. So this one makes maybe a little bit more sense, but either way, you know, that's been allowed. Not to mention...
Yes, and that is true, and that is something we're going to have to get used to. I can't tell you how I know this, unfortunately, but smart cubes are going to become a thing, and that is going to be, I think, actually the WCA's next massive challenge. Because WCA aren't driving smart cube competitions, so what's the inevitable outcome of that? Who has the biggest vested interest in smart cubes? It's manufacturers. Manufacturers are going to become competition for the WCA because manufacturers are going to be driving smart cube competitions, and the WCA are going to have to try and keep up with that if they're going to be consistent with how they've kind of dealt with PSL, in my humble opinion. All right.
Monkey League has happened at Great Lakes Champs 2024 immediately.
Right. Monkey League is on the approved list of cool things that people are allowed to get into. Is Monkey League competition for the WCA? It's literally competing for sponsors. Sponsored by the Cubicle, right? So is PSL. It's got Speedcube Shop, but Speedcube Shop rarely get a look in it. The Worlds and things like that. Okay. So I'm just gonna wind this one back.
After competition, you know, it makes sense why an event like this would.
Ephemeca, they should be worried about the MSL. Damn straight. It might even finish one day. You never know.
We have no comment.
Yeah,
and like that's fine. Here, it
listen to this though.
Like they're trying to mask maybe.
Give me your best counters on this, because I think Dylan's spitting.
The email we had pulled up earlier, and so it doesn't really leave a great taste in my mouth. Honestly, I would have liked maybe a little bit more explanation because. this isn't the first time that a WCA competition has had something kind of separate happening at the same time. Even the Guangdong Open comp that we were talking about, right? There is some type of smart cube promotional thing, arguably could be linked to the Gan SSL competitions that have happened.
Is Gan SSL a competing league to the WCA? Yes or no?
And that competition was allowed to happen. We talked about it previously, but it's because that competition is deemed a sponsor of that competition, and Gan is not just the smart cubing league. It is like actually a sponsor of plenty of other competitions. So this one makes maybe a little bit more sense, but either way, you know, that's been allowed. Not to mention Monkey League has happened.
Is Monkey League competition with the WCA?
And that Great Lakes Champs 2024, immediately after competition.
Same sponsors, same competitors. It's a business. Try and tell me our man... oh, shit, what's his name? Oh, what's his name? Try and tell me Laser Monkey isn't making money off those views? He'd better be.
Competition, you know, it makes sense why an event like this would kind of make sense. You know, you can get like...
Is he paying competitors to take part? That's actually something I don't know. I don't know how financially Monkey League works, actually.
We said you can get top level competitors in more easily to make sure both those comps are more competitive.
Level Up Cube, Moyu and Chi competitions are coming. All right, that's going to happen.
Then the people that are competing who don't make finals have something to kind of sit around and watch a little bit more. And it's overall just more fun for cubing. If you look at the WCA mission statement, we have it pulled up, but essentially it boils down to...
Here's the WCA mission statement. Our mission is to have more competitions in more countries with more people and more fun under fair and equal conditions. Are these fair and equal conditions? I mean, obviously we're outside the remit of the competitions, but... Zakato, Laser Monkey is non-profit for sure. What do you mean by that? Are you telling me Laser Monkey's not monetized? Are you telling me Monkey League's not monetized? He has sponsors. He was sponsored by the Cubicle. Oh, that's irony. Thank you, Zakato. Thank you for the clarification of that irony. Thank you.
More competitions in more countries, more fun, under fair and equal conditions. I doubt this competition is not fair and equal conditions.
Oh, yeah, true. Facts. Okay, so Dylan's talking about the competition itself. Was this competition not under fair and equal conditions?
So why does getting rid of this comp kind of pose a problem? Why does having this comp pose a problem?
Thank you for the clarification, Dylan.
Yeah.
To me, it seems like they are being less lenient with an organization that maybe they just don't like. And, you know,
yeah,
that's somewhat fair.
Level Up, just to confirm, I don't care how much money Philip makes at the end of Monkey League. He's still taking money from people who sponsor the WCA and putting it into something that is absolutely not WCA. And if that's the concern about PSL, then why is it not a concern for Monkey League? All right, to be clear. Man, what's going on with my whole thing? I'm
having more comps,
not having a great time
with
today
more people
with my setup. This is not ideal.
Then why is this comp not allowed? It doesn't go against any of this. And it seems as if, like, you know, the WC is trying to monopolize speedcubing, right?
It's trying. I've said that before. I've said not speedcubing, but I've said it's certainly trying to monopolize results. It doesn't want anyone else getting close to their website. They've got the connection with Guinness, I guess. Okay, Level Up, we agree with each other. I can understand. I can actually understand that. I can understand and I can accept that the WCA has the database to maintain and that the WCA is the one source of truth for results and records. I do totally get that. But they are being, in my opinion, anti-competitive and monopolistic by not letting other organizations exist. All right? They didn't just, because here's a very clear clarification on what I'm talking about with Monopoly, okay? So, or results, that is. I understand why the WCA wants to protect the results in the database, because they are governed or overseen by some very, very strict rules and regulations. That's fine. I can also understand why they wouldn't want PSL results to be recognized in the WCA and entered into the WCA database. And to be honest, I can probably support that overall. Like, I do kind of get that. What I cannot accept is why they are not letting other organizations who want to put on cube competitions exist. I know why they had such a problem with Red Bull, because Red Bull went about it a very silly way. Rubik's were also complicit in that. There were a lot of dickheads in that situation, and actually WCA was fairly justified in how they responded. I don't think Red Bull was the major one at fault. I think, actually, I would say Rubik's at that time was the one that were at fault, because when Red Bull came to Rubik's should have said, oh, yo, let's get the WCA involved. It's my understanding that they didn't. Red Bull and Rubik's did the whole thing, created this competition. Then the WCA was just like, huh? What's happening? These aren't events. What are you talking about? We have an events list. What are you talking? Of course we can't recognize that. What is this? But this is different. This is so different. They're acting against their own interest in my opinion, but I forget what launched me into that. It was probably something base that Dylan said, but I forget. Anyway, let's carry on.
And that in of itself is like,
what did Dylan say?
Go against any of this, and it seems as if.
Like, oh yeah, the competition didn't go against any of the mission, but the mission is not regs. The regs are not mission. Blah 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 blah.
You know, the WC is trying to monopolize speedcubing, right?
That was it. That's it.
Itself.
I think they're trying to monopolize and protect the database, which, as I've said, I can totally understand. But also, I'm like, come on now. But there's probably, I don't know, maybe Guinness says they have to. I don't know. I actually don't know.
Is like, if that's how you want to be, that's like, I think that's a fine way to operate. There's like plenty of businesses that operate in this manner, but don't try to maybe say you're one thing, but then operate in another manner. That to me, not super great. And I feel bad for the people that wanted to go to this competition for the fact that there was a special event and that they get WCA rounds, because the current way we've structured the cubing community is that, yes, WCA comps matter a lot, and they do, and they're a super important thing for the community, but then to take that away because of, like you said, some type of political reasons doesn't sit right with me.
So I think we'll probably leave it there for Millisecond, okay? But to me, this is like, and again, I feel like I'm going around the house and saying the same thing again, but this is like it's just a massive communication issue. So let me just pull back for a second, all right? So the thing has happened, the competition has been pulled, people naturally have lots of questions about why that happened. The WCA has had an opportunity to say why that happened, and they have chosen not to, right? Optically, from the outside, that looks really shady. It looks really bad. Curious Nick, it's not a good look for the WCA. This is what I'm thinking about. I'm thinking optically. This is kind of getting back into FIDE chess kind of stuff. This looks really bad because they're not explaining themselves well. Well, they're not explaining themselves at all. They don't have to. They can do what they want. But like, as someone who's watching this and thinking, hey, are you anti-competitive? Is the WCA anti-competition? Are they running a monopoly? Are they gatekeeping? Are the WCA gatekeeping this sport? Are they causing it harm by not letting it grow? Are the thoughts that occur to me. Mango, when I talked to Tyson about Guinness, he told me that when he started the WCA, he pretty much pushed Guinness towards only recognizing WCA results because of the regulations they had created. Yo, has Tyson in the past screwed Tyson in the future? So optically, this is terrible. Optically, this is really bad. And I think this might segue us quite well into looking at Carter's video at Clicky. I think I want to skip to like 750 because he does a lot of background and then gets into some takes, which I will take issue with, but I'm going to be careful here and I'm going to be very sensitive because Carter is very, very young and I'm very, very old, talking about imbalances, right? I want to take a look at this. Given everything we've talked about, given the fact that the WCA has done a very, very bad job, in my opinion, of telling people why this happened, I think they owe people an explanation as to why this happened, because like I said, they've pulled this out from under the feet of competitors. I think that's unfair. Let's move. There we go. So with all that in mind, here's Carter from Clicky. Normally, this is not an attack on Carter. This is not an invitation or an excuse for anyone to go and attack Carter. All right. This is not what this is about. This is not personal. Carter is going to put forward an argument that I think is being discussed in forums, that I don't think is necessarily fair. So unfortunately, he's becoming the voice of it. He's becoming the spokesperson for that opinion. But I'm just going to take issue with, I think, some leaps of logic here, all right?
Competitions don't...
Just what I'm saying is, not that any of you would be. Not that any of you would be, but what I'm saying is don't be a dick, all right? Don't go after Carter and say anything based on what I've said, all right? Just don't do that, all right? And I don't think that's happened in the past, but I would hate for that to happen, all right? I'm just playing safe here.
Like,
he's only little.
It's usually because of weather, a pandemic. Maybe,
okay, so
maybe the venue is like being difficult with the organizers, and they have to cancel it.
So this is repeating the position that Chris and Dylan were talking about, where like you don't like. Comps don't just get cancelled. They don't just get yoink cancelled. There's usually a bloody good reason.
But this doesn't happen because the WCA necessarily wants to. It's very rarely that happens.
If ever.
So why is it happening here? Well, there's a very clear answer to that when you sort of look deeper into how is this PSL competition being supported. And you have to understand that the PSL and the WCA are two competing organizations.
I'm going to stop you right there. I do not understand that, and I will not understand that. I fundamentally disagree. I think that that is a choice that people are making. I feel that believing that is a choice that people are making. Maybe I'm making the choice to believe that they're not. Maybe I'm too naive. Maybe I'm too idealistic. But I do not see them as competition. What's better for consumers? Cube buyers, okay? Wherever you are in the world. Is it better for you as consumers if there is one Cube store in the entire world? Or is it better for you if there are 3 or 4 who are able to offer competitive pricing, competitive customer support, all that kind of stuff? Which one is better? Is it just having one store or is it having a number? Is competition a good thing? And does more than one store existing mean that only one can exist? Like, you know, think about that kind of stuff. Competition generally for the consumer is a good thing. Generally, I believe. Some of the older people in the chat, like, come at me. Am I way off the bat with that? But generally speaking, competition is better than monopoly. In my humble opinion, I'm pretty sure. I feel like it is. Anyway, so so this is to demonstrate that Carter and I are probably fundamentally opposed on that point before we've got started. But that's not the bit I take issue with. Carter can believe that, and that's fine. He can't. Carter's already. He was on the show last week and stated his case that I believe that trying to broadcast WCA competitions are kind of it's like polishing a turd, right? I think they're not actually made for broadcasting. Carter disagrees fundamentally. That's fine. We're allowed to disagree. We can disagree and remain chill. So, but we do disagree on that point.
There's been this argument that maybe they can coexist together, but objectively, they are two different things.
Yes. Correct. Objectively, they are two different things. I think there's a leap of logic to go from there to they cannot coexist. That's egregious in my opinion. In my humble opinion.
That are sort of fighting for the Cubers' attention.
Are they? In what sense are they fighting for the Cubers' attention? I'll take you back to the thing I started yapping about at the start of this. What are the win conditions of this competition? What are the win conditions of this perceived competition?
Like you can't like they are not friends,
That's very interesting language. Where has that come from? They are not friends. They're not people. How are they not friends? How are they not friends? They are both working towards the same goal, which is to grow cubing and bring it to a wider audience. I don't love that. Why can't they be friends? Where is this coming from? Where is that belief coming from? It's kind of what I spoke to earlier. This is kind of the imbalance of power that we have here, where we have, and we don't like the camps. We have established already earlier in this conversation that there aren't just two camps. There are most of us who are like, cool, WCA and PSL, that's fine. There's a vocal minority which is being strengthened. There's a silent minority, which I believe the WCA is only making stronger, which is people who are into the idea of the PSL but are getting increasingly pissed off at the WCA. And then there's a very vocal minority who are turbo WCA pilled and don't want to see anything else except the WCA. The minority who are silent and are becoming increasingly pissed off at the WCA are scared to speak out because they're worried about getting kicked off teams, banned, all that kind of stuff. They have no power. People in the camp who are WCA or nothing have too much power because they are able to speak and speculate and make logical jumps and just talk shit about the PSL. Carter, unfortunately, I believe is going to demonstrate exactly what I'm talking about. And again, this is not about Carter personally. I believe he is acting right now as the mouthpiece for that vocal minority who are WCA or nothing.
They are competing organizations.
Don't agree, but cool.
Looking at the PSL side of things of this competition, PSL Michigan was advertising free registration to everybody that signed up for this competition. You could literally, and you can still do this right now, you can type up your name on the PSL form, sign up, and there's no money you have to put down. You do not have to put down a single penny to register.
Okay, we'll come back to that. Okay, so PSL was free to register for, sure. We accept that.
If you show up or not, well, it's not their problem. I mean, it's not your problem either because you didn't pay for anything. Additionally, on the PSL side, there is a $1,000 prize pool for this competition, with $500 going to the first place winner. So no matter how you slice it, they are losing $1,000 from this PSL Michigan competition alone.
Uh-huh. So let's just keep all this. Let's just keep track of all this. So PSL part of the Michigan competition was free to enter, and they were giving away prize money. So they are losing money. Yes, of course they are. We know for a fact that PSL is losing money. Like any business that starts out, you have to lose money to start with. You have to give away stuff to get people interested, to get started. That is how a lot of businesses get started. Most businesses lose money in their first or sometimes first 2 years. So far, he's stating facts.
And none of that money is coming from PSL registration fees, because the competitors do not have to pay a single dime to the Premier Speedcubing League to compete.
Yeah, pretty good outcome for competitors, right?
Okay. Well, let's look at like the other WCA event, okay? That competition does have a registration fee. It's $35, and there's a competitor limit of 100 people. So that means that the maximum revenue, assuming like we're not including the registration fees or whatever, or sorry, not registration fees, the refunded registration fees, which you're not refunded 100% if you cancel.
You're not refunded 100. Wait.
You're making a maximum revenue of at least $3,500. And presumably that is being used to not only pay for the WCA dues, which is sort of like money to cover the fact that this is a WCA sanctioned competition, but also the venue costs.
Well, as Carter himself is about to demonstrate, 50% of the venue costs.
It's not very clear that the venue, that the PSL is paying for their portion of the venue.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. They've publicly stated it, which you're about to demonstrate to us.
It can be heavily inferred that if you're accumulating that much money from WCA registration fees, that you're also using it to pay for the venue, presumably.
It can be heavily inferred, or are you inferring that despite evidence that John Epley supplied to you?
So, when you pay for the venue, you usually pay for the whole day. You usually pay for it for the whole day. And it's odd that these events were happening back to back in the same venue. So the ultimate conclusion could be made that the PSL were sort of piggybacking off of the WCA funds and how they were used to pay for the venue to sort of host their own event they were supposed to host their own event for a WCA paid venue.
This is really interesting because he's going to show us John Epley, the organizer of the event, saying that the plan was to pay 50-50 for the event, for the venue, and that only about 25% of the time and space they calculated would be used by the PSL event.
So essentially, the WCA indirectly was paying for the PSL competition to happen.
I don't understand how that can be true without you also saying the PSL was also paying for a bit of the WCA competition to happen. He's going to bring up, because it was a reply that John Epley wrote to him that I had corroborated by John.
At least through this interpretation.
Do you see what I mean by a leap of logic there? Hold on, I need to find...
The WCA board does not like this. And
I need to find where he brings up this comment. Here it is. It's just coming up. It's just coming up, okay? So just bear in mind the logic that we've been presented with here, and then...
Honestly, that's fair. Why would you let your competing organization just have a competition with your money? Presumably, if you're using WCA funds to pay
Stay
for
with
the
him.
venue,
Stay with him,
you would
everyone.
imagine that those funds would be used to help the WCA competition. But the PSL has been advertised as an alternative to the WCA.
Has it? Has it? Where did that happen? The PSL's been perceived as an alternative, I would say, to the WCA. It's not been... That's a bit of a stretch, in my opinion. I mean, what he said is technically not false. I suppose you could say it is an alternative to the WCA, but it's not a replacement. I don't know. Maybe I'm getting lost in the weeds here. I might be reading too much into that. But anyway, carry on, Carter.
So are they drawing away people from the WCA competition? Is like is this supposed to be like counter programming? Like what's happening here?
Well, you could do the WCA comp, and then when it finishes, you can do the PSL comp.
This
What's up,
has
James?
been discussed on various places on YouTube comments, and also Cubex's friends, the Facebook group for Cubers.
Yeah, I'm not going in there. They don't like me.
I expressed my concern
I do go in and read. I do go in and lurk, but...
about this competition and like the whole fallout after this. And John Epley, one of the organizers, replied to my comment, and he said that 50% of the WCA funds, or 50% of the funds to pay for the venue, came from the WCA.
Okay. I think what's happening here is he's just about to like explode the whole argument he just made. I think, unless I'm a freaking idiot, all right? Unless, and correct me if I am, it has been alleged that I'm dumb as a brick, right? But John Epley says here, and I corroborated this, I messaged John, all venue and other costs were split 50-50. Okay? 50-50 split of venue costs. With the WCA taking up around 75% of the room space and schedule. Does that not sound like a good deal for the WCA? They paid for 50% and they're getting 75%. Am I insane, or does that not sound like a really good deal for the WCA? Actually, quite a generous offer from the PSL. Why is that? And this goes back to everything I was talking about earlier. Why is that a bad outcome for the WCA? James, it's very simple how PSL could have been paying for that. They're making a loss. They've been public about that. They're paying for it out of their own money. This is another thing that does not need to be speculated about because it is public. It has been stated. PSL are making a loss right now as they try to generate some momentum and get going. You can have your own opinion about whether you think that's dumb or not. That's fine. Go ahead. But that is the answer to that. That's what's happening. They're making a loss. They're trying to gain traction, to build up some momentum, to make something really cool. They weren't losing any competitors. Mango makes a great point, because you could do the WCA competition and then without even leaving the room, you could then do PSL for free. Right? So you do your WCA competition, you have a nice time, you get your WCA results, sick. Then it's like, okay, cool. We're crossing over to PSL now. It's head to head. Try and win some money. Sick. What like, Prajda sounds like good for WCA, not insane. Thank you. Because that sounds like if I was the WCA and I was hosting an event that used the majority of a venue across a day, and then another person wanted to do something at the end of that, but they were going to pay 50-50, that's a good deal. That's a generous offer from the PSL. And it's literally collaboration. It's the PSL demonstrating that they want to do something and paying above the odds for it. Which, for a business of their age, I have zero problem with. So I don't understand the leap in logic here from from PSL's paying half for less than half of the use. What's the leap of logic there to that being screwing over the WCA? Genuine question. I'm not trying to be a dick. I do not understand the leap of logic there. PSL's the one losing the most in that deal. Absolutely. And I'm actually going to go back to
For comment.
No, chill. I'm going to go back to Carter's statement here that was in Cubex's friends. He starts with the statement, using WCA funds to pay for an event that is not related to the WCA. How is that a factual statement? That is not true. That is not factual. He then goes into opinion. Like it or not, the PSL is direct competition against the WCA. I fundamentally disagree. I do not have to accept that. It's very clear, Carter says, that PSL was using some, if not all, WCA funds to either pay for the PSL venue or at least get people in the door to watch PSL. Only one of those parts, one part of that statement is true. Obviously, they were using the draw of a WCA competition to get people in the door. Like, obviously. But where have we got this idea that the PSL is somehow screwing the WCA out of money? Like, am I missing something? Or is that a complete invention? It's very clear PSL was using some, if not all, WCA funds to either pay for the PSL venue or at least get people in the door. No, they're paying half. They're paying half the venue costs, and they set up a collaboration with the WCA competition to get people there. It's the collaboration and paying over the odds for the venue hire. That's how that was promotion. That's how they got people there. The Cubers are going to be there. So do you understand why I'm confused and why I'm going, what is this leap of logic? Where is the evidence? Where is any evidence that the PSL was taking money off the WCA? Please tell me. Please tell me. I'm going to go back to where I started when I was kind of, setting the stage, all that kind of stuff. This kind of take, which again is not necessarily just Carter. I feel like he's the one who has broadcast it, so he's the one whose media I'm looking at right now. But it seems to be kind of supported by others in Cubex's friends, in particular that forum, because that's where Carter's talking about. I'm not taking shots. I'm just using the information that's been brought towards me. Where has this assumption come from that the PSL is taking money from the WCA in this situation? Because I cannot see it. I cannot see how that is in any way, shape, or form true. Unless I really hope Carter's not going to psych me and just be like, "Ha, psych." No, obviously that's not true.
Reached out, replied.
Oh,
comment,
my keyboard keeps
and he
disconnecting.
Said that 50% of the WCA funds, or 50% of the funds to pay.
Bro, Prajta, I'm glad you said it first. He's making an assumption and now can't let it go. Prefrontal cortex. I didn't want to say it. And I didn't. Prajta did. But this is what I'm talking about at the start. This us or them thing. It's not helpful. It's not smart either. Let's just be a little bit more critical in our thinking and remember that two things can be true at once. We're trying to grow cubing. Dylan, try and get me off this PSL stuff. Try and get me off of this topic. They were James, I think the assumption just came from John's original email where he said he hadn't considered PSL a sponsor, but in the same piece of context, we've got them 50-50ing the venue. Two things are true at once. PSL is a business that is losing money and trying to grow. That is what you do when you're in a new business. Okay? And they were splitting the venue with WCA. I don't know where this leap of logic came. I don't know where it came from. Yeah, I think I did spend an hour on Chris's video. On your and Chris's video. So I was about it. Actually,
and
no,
another
not.
50% came from the PSL. So ultimately, some portion of money from the WCA was used to pay for the whole venue time.
What are you talking about?
And
I'm sorry.
within that
I'm
whole
sorry.
venue time,
I'm
there's
sorry.
also the PSL.
I'm sorry. He's very young. Carter, I'm sorry. I apologize. But with peace and love, where has that come from?
Using a portion of the WCA's money. So clearly, they're sort of this like connect.
James, he's presenting it in the
WCA
same video. Don't mess with me.
That I think is the main problem the WCA board had, and it's a valid concern. The whole situation is just odd to me. I feel like this could have been very easily avoided if you just split up the two entities. Have, you know, maybe
How
not,
are they not
maybe
split?
not even the same venue. Maybe you could get away with doing it with a different day, but it's just odd that there was this need to combine the two.
That's collaboration. That is called collaborating. That is what collaboration looks like. Everyone saves money. Everyone gets their objectives. That is what a collaboration looks like. It's not a scam. It's not a trick. It's collaborating to save money on the resources that you need to do your thing.
Clearly, the WCA did not want to combine the two, but the PSL did, because they advertised this in a podcast. That PSL the two. It's just odd that there was this need to combine the two. Clearly, the WCA did not want to combine the two, but
they signed it off. So they did. They did sign it off. They clearly did want to combine the two. The board had a problem with it.
PSL did.
Yeah, they wanted to collaborate with the WCA so that they could capitalize on the people already being in the venue. And they made a very generous offer to split 50-50 on the venue cost, even though they only needed 25% of the venue time, as it were. It seems pretty simple to me.
Because they advertised this in a podcast.
Yeah, why wouldn't they? Why wouldn't they advertise the fact that they're partnering with the WCA? Why wouldn't they advertise that? That's an incredible outcome. That's a great outcome for cubing. It's a great outcome for PSL.
It said that this was going to be a collaboration between WCA and PSL. The WCA never went out to say that, you know, we're also collaborating with the PSL. It was just a PSL spreading this. And I find it odd that the PSL still feels the need to sort of have this collaboration. They have gone lengths. They have gone very, very far to distance themselves from the WCA. They do not have average of 5 as one of their statistics.
That's a different format. That's not... Yeah, I mean, that's true. But then if they just did average of 5... If they did average of 5, that would be an even more competing organization. Wouldn't it? And then what would be the purpose of that organization existing if it was just a clone of the WCA? That's a weird one as well.
They have like their own ranking system. They don't base anything off WCA rankings.
So I'm probably going to leave that one there. You can go and watch the rest of Carter's take and chat about it in his comments if you want. Be nice. Don't be a dick. Leave that to me. So what I want to do is I want to look at finally at the regulation that James actually sent me this. Oh, hold on a minute. No, that's a dead link. That's the one that Chris sent me. Where's James? Hold on a minute now, everyone. Hold on a minute. Wait, no, I didn't want to do that. I didn't want to do a round of applause. I wanted to give you some music while I just look up this link. The YiHeng and Gan drama, just by the way, for everyone harping on about it, as I said at the start, is completely one-sided, and I only have one source, and it's YiHeng's mum. So we still don't actually know what Gan did. Well, yeah, we will go through it. I'm nearly done with this. I'm just taking my time, having fun, all right? Jeez. Let a guy yap, would you? All right. Where did James send me this? Here it is. Oh, file name with a space in it. Oh, that's why. Should that be an underscore? Let's try an underscore here. Oh my god, why does my sorry everyone, my keyboard is being a total goober. And I'm really not sure why. I'm gonna hit that off and I'm gonna hit it back on again. Now connect, you turd. And stay connected. Keeps disconnecting after like seconds. Competition. I didn't want a slash. I wanted requirements.pdf. It is a space. Oh, it's the %20 thing. Thank you, Jack. Thank you, thank you, thank you. All right. Shut up, everyone. Shut up. Jeez. Here we go. Thanks, Jack. Appreciate it. So we are looking for number 9. 8, 9. Nope, championships. Nope, this is not the document I was looking for. Oh, dang it. Oh, events, 7. Let me just make sure I'm looking at the actual, if this is the document I was looking for. Where's my little folder here that I made last night with screenshots in it? I didn't want to use screenshots. LMNOP 59. Episode 59, everyone. Gosh. So this is what was posted on one of the forums as the issue. And I was trying to find what document it came from. But now that I'm seeing this document I've been sent, I'm not sure. This is not what I was looking for. Dang it. 9.1 is not the same here as 9.1 is here. So it's not the competition requirements policy. Oh, thank you, Dylan, for that. Appreciate that. So, okay, so I can't really talk to this, actually. So I think we're going to have to come to the end of this section. This was posted in Cubix's Friends as being the reason. This is about sponsors. This is more of a sponsorship. Is there a sponsorship agreement? Like Jack, is there a sponsorship agreement that exists? I haven't been able to find this anywhere on the WCA website, so I'm not sure if it's like a delegate document or something. This is just about sponsorship. I don't really know why this is relevant. The information listed on the WCA website, as well as other, like without knowing the context of what this document is, it's hard to talk about it. But the information listed on the WCA website, as well as other official WCA channels, must comply with the rules of qualified sponsorship set forth by publication 598 of the Internal Revenue Service, as well as any additional rules or laws. Okay. The competition website may announce and display the business name or logo in connection with the competition. The competition website may link to a website homepage or competition-specific landing page. The competition website cannot link to web pages that advertise specific products or services of the sponsor, unless it is the sponsor's homepage. The competition website cannot advertise any specific products or services of the sponsor, including any endorsements of quality or price. The competition website may acknowledge the sponsorship contribution. So as far as it's the right policy, I'm in the wrong part of it. Information, so website. Oh, shit, there it is. Sorry, my bad. So I am in the right policy. This is the competition requirements policy. So this is number 9 under an official WCA competition must. Okay. there's nothing in there about the WCA cancelling it within a certain date. Okay, so it's in section 1, right? Was it? Yes. It's in section 1 of the WCA competition requirements policy under a WCA competition must. Where else is sponsor in this document? That's it. Oh, okay. WCA delegates must submit the following information. And then we're back there. So, did John say it was a sponsor? Did he? Is that what was confusing? Whoa, hey now, I didn't want that full screen. Chill. John, relax, buddy. Come on now. The original plan for Michigan Open was to hold a Premier Speaking League competition afterwards. Blah, 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 blah. It was, okay, so it was removed specifically for violating competition requirements involving sponsorships. I'm not sure which part of Section 9 it violated. Competition website cannot link to web pages that advertise specific products or services of the sponsor, unless it is the sponsor's homepage. I don't know what the link was, so I can't talk to that. The competition website cannot advertise any specific products or services of the sponsor, including any endorsements of quality or price. What does the Premier Speedcubing League website actually say right now? Where the hell is their website? Where the heck is their website? There it is. Oh, snap. It just goes to a link tree these days. Okay. Is it possible that... Dylan, they got rid of the part where it linked to PSL and they still cancelled it. They just don't like PSL. I think you might be spitting facts there, sir. These might be facts. So, in conclusion, I think a number of things. I think overall, really bad look. Really bad look for the WCA. Optically, this looks petty. It looks anti-competition. It looks anti-collaboration. The response from Kerry, I don't know Kerry, apparently she's very, very cool. Very, very nice lady. The response from Kerry, as Dylan said, was about as useful as a no comment. I don't think I took anything from that led me to anywhere specific. I'm still not really sure exactly what in Article 9 of the requirements policy. I'm not sure what was breached there exactly. I'm going to reiterate, I love the WCA. WCA is great. Okay? Love it. Love the database. All that wonderful stuff. Awesome. I like the PSL a lot as well. I said I love the WCA. I should probably say I love the PSL too. All right. Love you guys. Love your work. I do. I like it. I think it's got a lot of potential. I think they're working hard to make something cool out of it. I think they seem, from what I've seen, they've demonstrated quite a good faith kind of reaching out to WCA to collaborate on this competition. I feel I'm left feeling like the WCA have acted in quite bad faith by kind of screwing over competitors for what seems to be something kind of silly, maybe, from what I can see. Dylan, me when you can't like two orgs at once. I feel like the majority of cubers are down for both. We love that. More cubing to watch, more cubing to get behind. Dylan, I don't know if you were here when I was glazing your stream, just being like, that was so fun to watch. I love that. I love seeing content being used like that. I think the leap of logic that's being demonstrated... Carter's just joined. What's up, Carter? I think the leap of logic that's being demonstrated by some people is confusing for me. But ultimately, I think this is... Ultimately, what I'm feeling is like not super stoked with how the WCA have handled it and what they're doing. And that kind of brings me to one final point, but which is Dylan, maybe you have the answer to this. So I know a lot about fair use copyright, okay? It's something that I'm quite interested in, just because I am. And because I need to know about it for how I do my channel and make videos. I'm interested in what the WCA have an opportunity to do with Dylan's restream. Because I think, actually, technically speaking, Dylan's stream was creating a direct market replacement for the WCA's stream, which is not fair use. So, I can only assume Dylan had permission. The reason I bring this up is not because I'm trying to be a narc. The reason I bring it up is that the WCA has another opportunity to look a bit petty, and I just wonder. I wonder if they will do anything about it. I hope they don't. But you see what I mean? They have an opportunity to. To an extent, Dylan, you are right. To an extent, it was transformative, but it was a direct rebroadcast that was competing for viewers at the same time. Usually, if it's a football game or something like that, and it's fan commentary, they wouldn't have the stream on screen. But regardless, I'm not going to get bogged down in that. I thought it was awesome. It was great. It just made me wonder, there is an opportunity, and I hope that nothing happens. But I just don't like this road they're going down of being sort of closing off. You know? That's all. You're not wrong, Dylan, that it was transformative, but it could probably be argued effectively that it was a direct market replacement. If it went to court, which it will not and could not. But I'm just interested. I would please keep doing them because it was very good to watch. Chris did a great job as well. What are they going to do? Ban me? It's good publicity. Let's move on from that. Listen, I just want to reiterate, Carter, we don't always agree on everything. It's not personal. It's not personal. I will still continue to watch your content. Of course I will. I'm a big fan. We need more opinions in cubing, I reckon. So last thing we're going to look at, because that was pretty much the whole episode today. I was in the mood for a deep yap today. Thank you for sticking around for everyone. The other thing I was going to look at was... Dylan, do you by any chance have a link to that piece of content that Gan made? Or that poster that Gan made? Do you by any chance, is anyone able to give me that? Because... Cube Coach got so fast he got banned. So YiHeng's mom, this was on Reddit, on r/cubers, which rarely has the juice, but oh dang, it had some juice this time. Okay, so this post on r/cubers criticizing YiHeng Wang's mother criticizing Gan's behavior. Huh? What have they done? Dylan confirming he does not have a link, but that's just what everyone is saying. I'm going to go grab your comment. Gan, so you reckon this is... Do you mind if I quote you, Dylan? Dylan said his understanding... Oh, for... So, Dylan reckons Gan made a poster saying something with YiHeng, saying something like, took your record, or something like the record is back in the hands of glory, or stuff like that. Okay, so there was... Gan did something publicly that was like, haha, suck it, YiHeng, basically. It seems to me that was the message. How do you like that? Mo you boy. It seems to be the case that Gan has done that. Our man, well, I don't even know. Our old mate, Shen Jiling, over here, has given us TLDR and a translation here, okay? So I've only got, this is the only source I have on this. But this is a statement by YiHeng's mom. And it goes a little something like this. Wang YiHeng's mother says her 12-year-old son did his best in the competition despite serious physical and mental stress. I'm guessing this means the competition of... the competition where Zhuan Yi took the world record, right? Former world record. She contemns ongoing criticism and pressure directed at him and indirectly at her, which are disputes with former sponsor Gan, emphasizing that YiHeng has contributed greatly, broken many records, and never publicly attacked anyone. She states that she's proud of her son and he deserves respect and protection. And here is a full translation. Non-machine, sorry for my terrible English. Please, friend, Shen Jiling, I'm sorry for my complete lack of anything but English. How about that? I'm sorry. So Wang YiHeng's mother in her WeChat moments. So here it goes. It's very dramatic. I think it's probably fair to say that YiHeng's mom can be a bit dramatic in her posts. I don't know if that just is maybe comes over in translation or not. I don't know. But may I say something? Today, YiHeng has performed well. Again, I'm going to assume that was in the competition where Zhuan Yi took the record. I think that he tried his best. We know that he is doing great by completing all of the 5 solves in this competition. I told him that the most important thing is to be happy in this competition. I know what is happening to him. Yesterday, he even started to have torso health problems. Xiao Xiao and I, we stayed alongside him. He vomits whenever he swallows and dares not to turn off the light when sleeping. And he kept asking, why does Gan do so? What have I done wrong? Am I nobody anymore? What the actual fudge is happening right now? This sounds like a kid who's pretty stressed out, hey? Or at least we're getting a description of a kid who is very, very stressed out. This always gets me because YiHeng's he's pretty much the same age as my son. So whenever I think Chang's in the same position, haven't you got a kid about the same age? And whenever I read anything about this kind of stuff, I'm like, oof, this is a lot. This is an awful lot. I said, YiHeng, your greatness is not to be proven by winning or losing. It has been a lot of days. I'm neither blind nor stupid. Are you, plural you, criticizing me because you dislike me? You have pointed all your evilness at a 12-year-old. Curious Nick, is he only stressed out because of Gan or are there other reasons? Yeah, true. Sounds like emotional stress manifesting as physical symptoms. You are attacking him, but you've made it sound like attacking me. I think it might be fair to say. I don't want to speak out of turn. It might be fair to say YiHeng's mum has a little bit of main character syndrome. Which isn't a real syndrome, but you know what I mean by that? I think she's a bit main character coded. Anyway, you're attacking him, but you've made it sound like attacking me. I don't know because this is translated. I don't know what the original source is. This is real dicey, you know what I mean? James, you're not wrong. And we're actually gonna get to that in her own statement. which is interesting. Gan is the previous sponsor of YiHeng, and you have provoked us multiple times before the competition. Do you think you're sure I won't fight back? Me doing so will only make us into greater trouble. You know this. Are you trying to attack us mentally? YiHeng started to break records from February 2023 until September 2024. How many records has he broken using Gan 12 in this 1 year and a half? Why haven't we boasted about this? I told many friends I dare not laugh loudly, otherwise it will be a disturbance for our friends. Huh? I don't know what that means. This is the only thing I can do to the teammates, but has any single person expressed gratitude? You need not to thank us as long as you understand why I'm doing this. I feel it is worth it. This is so cryptic. Again, I think I'm losing things in cultural translation. YiHeng broke 14 records, so has his era ended? Yo, did she just call YiHeng cooked? Did she just call YiHeng washed? YiHeng broke 14 records, so has his era ended? Must one stand under the light in order to become a hero? Well, that's beautiful. First of all, didn't he let everyone see the possibility of this event? Facts. Haven't lots of people earned attention in those years of his? Chang, it's default Asian mindset. Thank you for being my Asian correspondent, Chang. That translation, we try to be humble and not boast. Chang. I don't know how long you've not lived in China, Chang, or what generation you are, or whatever. But you, as my Asian correspondents, you're not even Chinese, are you? Shit, I think I've done an immediate racism. I'm so sorry. I forget where you're from, Chang, but what's your vibe you're picking up here? If you're able to pick up a vibe. Is YiHeng's mum, is she being... Oh, okay. No, you've answered my question. Translation from Chang, we try to be humble and not boast, but also here I go boasting. Chang is Taiwanese. Thank you. I'm so sorry, Chang. That's ridiculous. Hi, I'm a white guy. Far out. Woof. So your reading of this is, hey, we're trying to be humble and not boast, but hey, watch me boast. And seems like she feels personally attacked. Yeah, so that's difficult to comment on without seeing what she's been attacked by. All we have currently, and this is why I feel a little bit weird about going through this one, and why I'm not going to make too many assumptions here. All we know is that Gan made a post. Oh, no, in fact, we don't even know. This is a reckon from someone else. We reckon Gan made a poster with Zhuan Yi saying something like, took your record or something like that. The record is back in the hands of glory or stuff like that. I have not seen that. Chang, it's okay. White guys all look the same to me, as we established last week. Good. Okay. When we're on, we see each other, Chang. We see each other. Wait, no, I'm not endorsing that. I'm not co-signing that, actually. I'm backtracking. Oh, God. To be clear, I'm not co-signing that. I forgot what I was going to ask. I was too busy getting cancelled. So, yeah, a little bit of main character, potentially. So here we go. When YiHeng was at his deepest valley, so when he was at his lowest point, I can assume that means. James, also there was another comment saying the translation was wrong. Christ, really? I didn't see that. I thought I had a good look through here. I did not see this when I looked through the comments. Maybe there's another chat. Maybe it's in Cubix or something where they're saying the translation's wrong. Okay, well, let's take that. Oh, previous question. Jim, no, you missed me explaining my computer pooped itself over the weekend. And also, thank you, NS Cubing, for the stream title for next time. Speaking cancelled. Yeah, my computer pooped itself because I'm making the switch from Premiere Pro over to DaVinci, and all hell broke loose. So yeah, but this stream's mostly going to be one video. Oh, there were multiple posts about the same incident, still Reddit, but a subsequent post. Okay, well, let's take that into consideration. I feel like I did kind of cover that at the start. This is a translation by someone who I do not know, and also they said it may not be very good. Mango, yeah, DaVinci's good. It's just when you have to change workflow, it's horrible, but I need to do it. Okay, so when YiHeng was at his deepest valley, Li Chunjiao accompanied him. It was Wang Jiayu who suggested to take care of him. I don't know who these people are, I'm going to be honest. When he was lost in his mood in the World Championship, Pan Ji Kang was by his side. He mentioned those to me multiple times. Do we not have a gratuitous mind? YiHeng has been in Gan for 4 years. Did we not make a contribution? Yeah, of course. I'm probably sure you did. She's really hurt. Hey. This is really mad. This is a really mad person. Jim, because I was getting it for free from someone else's subscription, and then that wasn't possible anymore. Chang's going to try and read the original. Oh, snap. When the Gan 12 UI went out, blah, 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 blah. Okay, so this kind of goes on along the same... It's mostly just her going, what the hell, bro? What the hell, bro? But... And then she drops an F-bomb. Look at that. Dang. What's the translation for that, Chang? Yeah, and here's the bit that's weird, though. David, not gonna lie, if you see the original poster from Gan, it's really, really bad. Do we have a... I haven't seen it. Like, I cannot find it. David, do you know where it might be? Or, like, do you have a screenshot or something? But this is interesting. YiHeng did well today. He did his best despite having headache, shoulder ache, and tinnitus. So, the obvious question there. Wow, why was he competing? Was this at Worlds? It wasn't at Worlds, was it, when Zhuanyi got the record? I forget. YiHeng did well today. He did his best despite having headache, shoulder ache, and having tinnitus. That's why he's always saying shh. That was unfair. But today, I have to say I'm proud of my son. He's worthy for me to be proud of him. Reposted after permission from who? So, what have we learned? YiHeng's mom is mad. Gan, possibly, although we have seen no evidence, are acting really kind of crappy. Gan are, like, actively bullying a 12-year-old child? Is that what we're doing now, Mr. Gan? Is that what we're doing? David said, it's basically showing Zhuanyi's 3.84 average, and the title says, your records end here. Okay, that's pretty tough. Implying YiHeng will never get the new record ever again. I mean, okay, joke's on you, Gan. Joke's on you, Gan. Teddy gotcha. So, there's not a lot more we can infer from that, really. It's just, I saw that and thought it's always interesting when YiHeng's mum speaks, you know? She's always pretty mad. Dylan's saying this is pretty common in other sports and stuff. That could possibly be true, Dylan. But up against a 12-year-old kid? I think that's probably where my line is. Like, it's fine. It's fine to poke a little fun. We have a little fun. We do a little trolling. But he's 12 years old, you know what I mean? That's not gross. I mean, that's not awesome. Yeah, I think we're aligned, Dylan. Nick, it's basically saying that to every Cuber, not just YiHeng. It could be that YiHeng's mom is inferring things that, you know. But it's from what she said, from her statement. Where did she say? What did she say? You have provoked us multiple times before the competition. They did say that. She did say, and you have provoked us multiple times before the competition. Hold on, clarify. This potentially bad translation, no hate, but you said it yourself. This potentially bad translation says you have provoked us multiple times before the competition. Do you think that you're sure I won't fight back? So, apparently it's more than just the poster. Oh, they took David. Okay, this is interesting. I wish I could find this. What platform is this on? Was this on Instagram? They took down the original poster, but at the new record post of Theodore from Gan, the comments are spammed with the same poster, but with Theodore's face. Is this on Instagram? Because if it's on Instagram, I can find it. What? Instagram. Good news, my keyboard seems to be working again, everyone. That's cool. Search LMNOG Gan. Oh, it's on WeChat. Okay. Yeah, I don't think I can get WeChat on. Although I can broadcast my phone. This is a new update. You can now just really easily put your phone screen onto a Mac desktop, which is pretty cool. The newest update. The newest update that kind of seems to have fried my whole computer for a bit. It is quite good. Chang is reading. It's in response to something posted on Bilibili. Ugh. Both of these are tough. Let's see if I can find something on WeChat. Hold the line, caller. Official accounts. WeChat. What? Piss off, WeChat. What are you doing? Here's Gan. Okay. Did they post? They post a photo of. There's a poster of the poster of Theodore. I don't know, man. WeChat is really hard. WeChat is really hard to navigate around. I was following. I think I was following YiHeng's mom on Bilibili. I think I was following her on Silly Billy, but yes, English, please. Yes, very much so. Thank you. After logging in, yeah, I'd like to log in. Thanks. I can send you the edited version with Theodore's face through Discord DMs. Yeah, sure. Send it through. Is that you now? Oh, that's Chang. Found the original Bilibili post from Gan. Thank you, Chang. Okay. Oh, it wants me to log in. No. But I don't know how that. I don't know what this is. I can't read. Not English. Okay. Oh, we got it. We got it. Hold up. Chang, what's happening? So this is the original. Hey, I'm going to try something, everyone. Hold the line. This might be a game changer for the stream, okay? This might be a game changer for the stream. It might be nothing. But just hold on there. iPhone mirroring. Yo, watch this. Lock your phone to connect. Here we go. Oh no, this isn't going to work. This isn't going to work, is it? Because I want to use translate. Oh no, I can bring it up though. It's fine. So I'm going to go to translate on my phone here. This is some tech. I'm going to go to translate. And I'm going to put the camera on. And I'm going to have a look at this screen here. Hold on. That's not very helpful. It says your cell record. Oh, that's just the. So, yeah, there's nothing on there that I can see as calling him out, but I'm struggling to understand. Can anyone read what that says on stream? This is someone else's subtitles that are on top of it. Chill, lady.
你说到我为止，难道
哦
3阶
，OK
宿命的发展要就还是全体模有？
Okay, 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 okay. I got a screenshot without the video subtitles. Okay, okay, hold on. Top 4 characters, your records. Bottom, I am ending it here. What? Okay. Okay, 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 okay. That's literally just changed what it said. But I'm gonna show you what that's translated it to on my little phone here. Because look at this. Isn't this cool? I can just put my phone up on the screen. Isn't that cool, everyone? Isn't that cool? So what it says... Why can't I move it around? Here we go. What the hell now? No, no thank you. Don't do that. So it said the record... Oh, here we go. The record of the price to add and stop. What did Chang say? It's not even I'm coming for you. It's literally saying you are done. Is that what those 4 characters at the bottom are saying? You are done. I am your end. Does anything in the poster actually mention or hint towards YiHeng? Well, remember that the poster is just part of the story. Oh, okay, okay. Chang could also be interpreted as I will stop you. Chang reckons this does feel incredibly personal. James, yeah, I don't know if it's different in Chinese, but that phrasing in English just makes it sound like Xuan Yi challenging the rest of the world. I can see that. I can see that. It is definitely the part of YiHeng's mum's statement where she says, you've been doing this multiple times to me. You know, that's the part that is probably causing me to think, huh, what's going on? So I think, yeah, if it is true that that's pointed at YiHeng, that is, agreed, Mango, low-key diabolical. That's definitely diabolical. This is beyond shenanigans and into diabolicality. I've got messages coming through. Have I? Oh. David has got the so that's the same poster. Oh no, I'm share my screen, you dingle. So David's just sent through the edited one there, Steve. So does that one say anything different? Does that one talking some smack? Is that one talking some trash as well? Let me see. No, it's the same, eh? It's just the same. I wondered if this stuff up here was talking some extra smash. Okay. So we're split on whether it's personal or not, as opposed to the your. I don't know anything about Chinese language or characters, so I'm not going to comment. It can be inferred, I would say. It can be you could infer that that's personal. You could also take it as y'all are cooked. You know what I mean? Chang, I mean, Teddy literally just says yay and runs off the stage. It's a bit cute, isn't it? It's a bit wholesome. It's a very wholesome reaction. It's not going to score very highly on my rating system. You all know that. But it was very wholesome. I think that's probably going to be us for today, everyone. So Gan is potentially causing some trouble. YiHeng's mum certainly feels like Gan is causing some trouble. That's about the only thing I can see, because there's not nearly enough to talk about. Who are the ones who wanted more trash talking cubing? Oh, I think that was me, wasn't it? Not like this, though. Not like this. Not like this. Ugh. Why? This keyboard situation is really killing my vibe today. I'm over it. I think I'm hungry. It could be inferred that I'm hungry. All I wanted to do was look up a sick little meme from the 90s, alright? That's all. It's all I wanted to do.
By the way, if you have anything terribly important...
We wanted some more smack talk.
I suggest you say it now.
No, please don't. Not like this. Not like this.
It's not how we wanted it. It's not how we wanted it, Curious Nick. Not like this. Not like this. Alright. Gonna call it. Gonna call it there, everyone. Have a wonderful day. Thank you so much to my sponsors, Speedcube Shop and Cubing Life Academy and G Fuel. Use code Mike32314 at gfuel.com and buy some G Fuel so that I may get some more G Fuel. All right, love your work, everyone. I'm gonna call it. Have a great day. Have a great week. I'll try and get some edits up. I gotta go and learn how DaVinci works. I don't know. I don't want to learn another workflow, but I have to, so I'm gonna. All right. Okay, that's the end. Bye.